Hey, this is Bo Burnham. You're watching Comedy Matters TV. Please subscribe, please.
It's a beautiful day here at the Hyatt in Montreal, and I'm at the Just for Laughs Festival, the 31st annual, and I'm here with Bo Burnham. How are you, Bo?
Good, how are you?
I'm amazing, absolutely amazing.
I remember coming to this festival when it just started 31 years ago. It's changed.
It has changed, right? And I remember your opening line that you were a disheveled Bo Burnham the day that we spoke.
Yeah, is that what it was? I know.
That's how you identified yourself, a disheveled Bo Burnham.
Yeah, I can't be much better right now. I can't be much more sheveled.
Well, this is actually, it was worth waiting for. I'm glad I got to see your show before I had the chance to talk to you, because I have to tell you, it was really a spectacular, not just good, but spectacular.
Oh, thanks.
And I'm not just saying that because I'm here talking to you, but I was blown away by how innovative it was. It's very rare to see. So, I had seen you perform, I had seen your internet stuff, but I had never seen a whole live show. How long did it take you to create a show like that?
3 years. Yeah, my last one was 2010, so it's been 3 years, and it's gonna come out this fall. So yeah, there's been a few projects in between over those 3 years, but yeah, it's been a long process for this one for sure.
I mean, it really showed. It's hard to even describe to people, but I think the closing number was beyond comprehension. when you did, I mean, let me see if I can even explain it. There was music playing, but it was like choreographed, and you would point to things. You took a phrase. What was the phrase that you were repeating?
I don't want to too much give away.
Yeah, okay. I don't want to get. Okay, so yeah, but it was a phrase. Let's say that, and it was, and it
taking voices of people in my life and sort of sampling them musically. It was basically taking people that I feel like have been negative voices in my life, and then using my whatever I do to
physical skills. You created a dance, like a movement out of it.
Yeah, well, yeah, I was always a theater kid, so I try to bring elements of theater into comedy. I love raw, stripped down comedy. I think it's amazing, but I'm not very interested in it, or probably particularly good at it. So I just
talking about regular stand-up, traditional stand-up.
I guess that's what it would be. I think there's room for other stuff. I have no interest in getting rid of that, but maybe bringing a little bit brighter, louder, quicker.
Well, it's like you're creating a genre, really. I mean, where it didn't really exist before.
Well, it exists in some. I mean, there's Sam Simmons, the great Australian comic, is here. He utilizes backing tracks. Tim Minchin or Bill Bailey or this Dutch comic Hans Taywin. There's not tons
a handful
in America. Yeah. But I'm just saying I have a lot of influences. I don't want to try to pretend like I've invented certain things. I think hopefully maybe people haven't seen this particular combo or my take on it. But it's.
What's cool is that you're young. It's not like you've had many, many, many years to be influenced by people. A lot of it, I mean, I have to give you props because I've been seeing entertainment for a long time, and to see something so original and so different, and your timing was just beyond superb. I mean, everything, it just worked. As you pointed to stuff, it played.
Yeah.
And so, was that a difficult process to get that down?
Well, no, writing it and creating it took so long that by the time that was finished, I sort of had it memorized, So that's what it was. It was the actual creating of it that took a long time. I mean, that last bit, I've done like 4 or 5 iterations of it over the last 3 years. Just, it started with just maybe the first 3 minutes of it, and then I kept adding, and now it's just I know it like the back of my hand.
So is all your stuff like a work in progress? Are you always changing what you do?
Yeah, it's basically like I'm just trying to, now after 3 years, I'm like, all right, I got to just put it out now. I mean, I could keep working on this thing forever, but I'd rather just put it out.
You mentioned that you're a theater kid. Was that your background originally? You went to drama school? Or?
Not drama school. I wanted to go to college to study theater, to study experimental theater, but I ended up dropping out right before I was going to enroll. But yeah, that's what I did for all of high school, all middle school and stuff. I would do theater. That was my interests.
But your breakthrough was your internet stuff, right? What was the first thing that you did that really blew up?
I was, I think a song about my family thinking I was gay when I was 16. I posted that, and that took off. And I jumped into that pigeonhole.
That's a rough thing, having to convince your family that you're not gay, or that it doesn't matter either way, right?
Yeah, well, that's the point, sort of, that it doesn't really matter either way. But it was just sort of
families kind of want to know.
Yeah, I think they want to know either way. Where am I swinging? But I was a theater kid again, and everyone in my family did sports, so. Yeah, it was.
So you didn't fit into the whole sporting thing.
I did. I mean, people think that I do because I'm tall, and I think I'm vaguely coordinated, but no, I'm not. I don't like dirt, so that might be my problem.
I'm the same way. I always try to figure out what is the United States' fascination with sports anyway. I don't get it. I mean, I'm not particularly, I'm not a sports fan because if I'm not doing something, I don't get a lot of pleasure out of watching people do things. It's kind of like sex. You want to watch or you want to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, why? What's your take on why sports is so phenomenally attractive to people?
Well, I think I think I don't mind watching sports. I like sports. I think it's I think it's just people like to see humans functioning on their highest level, even if it's in something sort of arbitrary. And it's nice and clean, and people are competing, and there's winners and losers. And in life, it's not that clear and it's not that fair, and there aren't really rules in life. So I think it's nice to have something where you feel like you can root for something, you get a clear answer of, oh, if I win or I lose, or oh, my team won, or that. And
teaches kids how to be losers.
Yeah.
How to accept losing.
Yeah, I think which is what I think is needed probably more. I think that's the thing. There is a good black and white of competition that isn't really being gotten from anything else. And there's definitely a coaxing in theater. I was in theater where everyone's just sort of participating and everyone's great, and I had my own sort of brutal self-sabotaging tendencies, I think, and balance that out. But
isn't that an interesting thing, how we self-sabotage ourselves? I was talking about that earlier today when Colin Quinn did the keynote address. Were you there for that?
I wasn't, no,
he talked about fear and self-sabotage and all the things that we do to ourselves to hold ourselves back in some way. I thought it was very generous of him to share that because, I mean, he's had several shows of his own where he starred in the show, and then he said, and then soon after he was looking for work again. Yeah. There's a lot of craziness in the business. Yeah. It's things that you can't count on. But just to get back to sports for a minute, I always felt like you're living vicariously through other people by watching them do shit. You know what I mean? It's like if you're out there, if you're busy, there's like not a lot of time to sit home and watch people play games.
Yeah, but what do you like to do for entertainment? What do you like to do? You like to watch movies? You like to live vicariously through characters?
I go to museums, I work out, I like esoteric wisdom. I play the piano, I parties, I like events. I like things where I'm participating.
Yeah.
Not so much.
So in the museums, you take a little paint, you contribute.
Get arrested a lot. Yeah, I add a little thing when no one's looking.
Oh,
yeah. I go to the ancient Egyptian section and I touch the stones when no one's looking to just feel the energy. How'd you end up with Dave Becky? It's so cool that you're with Becky.
It's a great segue.
Yeah. Ancient Egypt to Becky, right?
Yeah, I don't know. I got a call from him when I was 17 or something, and he seemed like the coolest dude. He was, he like.
Amazing.
When I heard that he had worked with people, that I was like, oh my goodness, I would love to have that career. That sounds amazing,
Yeah, Rock and Louis
and Hedberg and everything.
Yeah, sure.
Mitch was like a huge influence of mine. So yeah, and he's great. Yeah.
I was with Mitch shortly before he left us. One of his last performances at Caroline's. He was a genius. He was just such a different way of thinking. Yeah, exactly. Amazing guy.
Gentle too, like very gentle material, and I think he What's so funny is I think when people look back at his material, you don't even remember that it was clean because it felt so cool. Sometimes we associate clean material with less biting and less original, but his was super squeaky clean and so original, and that's inspiring for me because I don't always want to just lean on
It's got a logical blue material.
Yeah, blue.
Blue has that. Yeah, right. No one knows where that came from.
I know.
Blue. I always ask people.
I know, but last time I heard people describe as blue is Carlin's special in the round. He would describe that when he's naughty, potty, toilet language, blue, when he's talking about all the words.
Milton Berle used to say that to me. He says, never work blue. Never explain. Nobody knew why the
Milton
Berle. He was my sponsor in the Friars Club. You don't even probably remember Milton. Have you heard of Milton?
I know Milton Berle, but yeah.
Yeah, well, I related to him because he was the roast master for the Friars Club for so many years and worked absolutely filthy, but never in his act, because there was that dichotomy in the old days that you had to have this persona, a clean-cut persona for the public, and then in private you could say whatever you wanted. Old school thinking.
Yeah, I'm glad I'm here. I'm glad I'm in this decade.
Absolutely. So what's coming up for you?
I have a poetry book that I'm releasing on October 1st. It's called Egghead. It's sort of an illustrated poetry book that Shel Silverstein sort of R-rated, a little more R-rated. Shel Silverstein had great twisted stuff, but most of his bigger works were more kid-friendly. And then I have this special I'm going to record and put out probably in November. And that's it, really.
Any plans to come to New York?
I was just at the Best Buy Theater a couple months ago, so when I have new material, I'll come back, but that could be in 5 years.
But you're based in LA, right?
I am now, yeah.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, listen, hey, it was great seeing you, and thanks so much
As
for coming
always.
on, man.
As always,
Thank you.
good to have you.
Thanks so much.